Have you ever felt tired of trying so hard, trying to be better, trying to fix everything, trying to become someone the world tells you to be? We grow up believing that constant effort is the only path to success, that pushing harder will finally bring peace, happiness, or meaning. But what if the truth is quieter than that? What if the more we struggle, the further we drift away from the life we're actually meant to live? Ancient Taoist wisdom suggests something deeply uncomfortable for the modern mind, that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in forcing life forward, but in allowing it to unfold. Think about how often we chase improvement. We fill our days with goals, routines, and endless information, hoping to become a better version of ourselves. Yet so many people reach milestones only to feel strangely empty afterward. The old Taoist sages noticed this long ago. They believed that humans often move against the natural flow of life, exhausting their bodies and burdening their minds, all while believing they're making progress. It's like swimming upstream, fighting the current with all your strength, never realizing that the river itself already knows where to go. They spoke of something called the Tao, an invisible force that exists beyond words and logic. It cannot be captured with labels or definitions. The moment we try to control or fully understand it, it slips through our fingers. And maybe that's why life feels confusing sometimes, because we keep trying to place everything into categories, rules, and expectations. We believe structure gives us control, but often it only narrows our vision. We chase colors, sounds, tastes, achievements, and recognition, believing they will complete us. Yet the more we cling to them, the more distant true contentment seems to become. Look around at modern culture. Everywhere we're told to hustle, to optimize, to compete, to outshine others. But what happens when the pursuit of perfection dims our own light? We compare ourselves constantly, chasing success stories that don't belong to us. The Taoist idea of Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action, reminds us that life doesn't always need to feel like a battle. Imagine a dancer who stops counting steps and simply becomes the movement, or a writer who forgets about results and dissolves into the act of creation. That is not laziness, that is alignment. And yet, the idea of doing nothing sounds almost dangerous in a world obsessed with productivity. We fear that slowing down means falling behind. But think about your own life. How many problems solved themselves when you stopped forcing them? How many situations became worse because of rushed decisions made from anxiety? Sometimes intelligence is not about doing more, but about knowing when to step back and let life breathe. Another struggle we face is the urge to fix the world. We want to change people, change systems, change everything that feels imperfect. The intention might come from compassion, but history shows that forcing ideals onto others can create more division than harmony. When we believe we hold the moral high ground, we risk turning empathy into control. True influence often begins quietly, through presence and understanding, not through force. Then there is the endless chase for happiness. We tell ourselves that we'll finally be satisfied when we earn more money, gain more followers, or reach a certain status. But have you noticed how quickly excitement fades once a goal is achieved? Pleasure is temporary, and when we rely on it to define happiness, we trap ourselves in a cycle of endless pursuit. Taoist wisdom gently asks us to question this pattern. Instead of running toward happiness like a destination, what if happiness emerges naturally when we stop running at all? And maybe the deepest struggle of all is the attempt to become someone else. We compare our appearance, our talents, even our personalities to others, believing that who we are right now isn't enough. But nature never creates duplicates. Every person carries a unique rhythm, a unique role within the whole. When we reject ourselves to fit an artificial ideal, we create inner conflict. Imagine a tree trying to grow like a river, or a bird trying to move like the wind. Each has its own way of existing, and none is better or worse than the other. Judgment alone creates that illusion. So what does it actually mean to live with this ancient wisdom today? It doesn't mean giving up on growth or responsibility. It means walking the middle path. It means recognizing when effort turns into strain, when ambition turns into anxiety, when improvement turns into self-rejection. It means unlearning the belief that life must always be forced into shape. Sometimes growth is not about adding more knowledge, more habits, or more pressure. Sometimes growth is about letting go, about creating space for stillness, curiosity, and acceptance. Picture a moment of silence within yourself. No chasing, no comparing, no proving. Just breathing, just being present with what is already here. In that quiet space, something shifts. The noise of expectations fades, and you begin to feel a subtle sense of connection to yourself, to others, to the unfolding mystery of life. This is what the Taoists described as the fasting of the heart, a process of emptying the mind of unnecessary clutter so that clarity can arise naturally. Maybe the real question is not, how do I become better? But what happens when I stop fighting what already is? Perhaps the greatest transformation comes not from relentless striving, but from gentle alignment with the flow of existence. When we stop forcing outcomes, life often moves more smoothly than we imagined. And in that effortless movement, we rediscover something we thought we had lost, a quiet sense of belonging. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by the pressure to try harder, remember this: the river doesn't force its way to the ocean, yet it always arrives. The wind doesn't compete with the sky, yet it moves freely through it. And you don't have to conquer the world to find your place within it. Sometimes, the most powerful step forward is simply to stop struggling, to listen, and to trust the natural rhythm that has been guiding you all along. And as this journey comes to an end, take a slow breath with me, and just pause for a moment. Maybe you don't need to rush into becoming someone new tomorrow. Maybe it's enough to simply listen to yourself a little more, to move a little softer through life, and to trust that you are already part of something much bigger than you realize. If this message resonated with you, if it gave you even a small moment of calm or clarity, then let this be the beginning of many deeper conversations together. Don't forget to like this video so more people can discover these ideas, and subscribe to the channel if you want more peaceful, thought-provoking stories like this. Until next time, slow down, stay present, and keep flowing with life.